And we are live. We are live now. All right. What's up, guys? We are back once again with the RTP podcast. We have in front of you a game that was chosen by the Will of Doom, or the community will, as you may call it, called Stars Within Reach. It is an RPG Maker MV game created by the developer Kaiser Dragon 8. So before we get into the project, we're going to introduce my other co-hosts. First, we have myself, D7. Then my other two co-hosts is Cychronic Games,
Yo.
developer of the Starship franchise, Origins, Rebellion, that he is currently working on, and Legacy, which is the main project. And also we have Simple Gaming, aka Harlequin,
aka the tired German. What's up, guys?
developer of the Dungeon Rummage series, which includes another Isekai, the main project still in development, Origins, another main project still in development, Tiki's Escape, a completed project which is available on Steam for purchase, and I believe itch.io as well.
Yep.
And you can check out his Game Jam game, Dungeon Rummage Rise of the Allies. Pretty good titles. Both developers are really strong and have great feedback in their projects. So definitely check out those projects and support them. Oh, and Origins is available for purchase as well on Steam.
What?
Starship Origins.
Starship Origins. I forgot. There's two Origins. There's two of them. So, as you guys can see, didn't want to start the video, but it's okay. As you guys can see, this is the community game that we have chosen last week. The Will has chosen. So it is pretty much a default RPG Maker game with default assets, default pretty much everything. There is some DLCs that's being used, but over time that stuff becomes default in RTP. So Stars Within Reach is about Karael is a princess on her way to get married and learn how to run the kingdom once her father is gone. However, not all went as planned. An attack was sent on the kingdom and Karael barely escaped with her life. In the event that follows, an ancient cult rears its ugly head, and cataclysm is set in motion to change the very world Karael had grown to love. She will fight for her survival. So that's the plot of the game. So we're going to talk about the story. We're going to talk about the mapping, the gameplay, the mechanics overall, and especially the battle system. So, like every game that we get, guys, we have spent a whole week with the game. If you want to see gameplay with commentary of this after the podcast, so you could, get an idea, you could definitely check out Rarely Typical Players gameplay of this game. So you could look at that in the video section. And also, I released Legacy podcast episodes. Those who may have not seen the older episodes, you can now able to see them in one place without having to go to like a different channel to watch it. So everything is in one place now. So
Awesome.
Even the Odarian accounts.
even the Darien counts. You could watch the whole.
Special episode on this channel.
Especially the Odarian accounts.
Exactly. D7 released my game without consent. Whatever, Padre. So we spent the whole week with this game, and we are able to study and analyze the game the best to our abilities. So we're going to talk about a quick rundown of the plot of the game without trying to give too much information, because this is a completed game and it's for free. We're going to start with
Last time the last like 4 times you started with simple gaming.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't know, man. Always me.
So yeah, so from what I can tell, the basics of the story is that whatever her face is about to get married. Right when they're getting married, she's kind of informed that she earlier talks about how there was this war, but the war is over now, and she represents peace with her husband to be Aaron. And just as they're getting married, a guard comes busting in and is like, "We're under attack. We're under attack." Well, the king or whatever says, "You two represent peace. Get out of here. Run to the north." And then you get followed, and then from there, the forest or the whatever cabin or whatever gets burned down, and then she wakes up in another town with some old guy, I guess, like revived her, and then from there it's kind of just doing some grinding in dungeons, and the story kind of at that point. The story kind of lost me. Like, it kind of felt like what was all happening after that part kind of didn't seem to even tie in with the story that was established in the first part of the game. It just kind of from there went to like go to the dungeon, get the item, bring it back, that kind of thing. And so I mean, I didn't, I gave it a good hour of my time, but I don't know if it suddenly picks up later or whatever. But yeah, the story kind of just meandered, I thought, after that point, and it kind of lost me. So, but that's kind of the rough gist of what I understand the story to be in this title.
All right, Harlequin, what did you get from this project so far?
I mean, I kind of like the intro. Like, it's not a lot of games where you start out with like the wedding between the two kingdoms, and you're actually playing the princess instead of the hero guy, the prince or whatever. So I like that part, but it got stale very quickly. Like, the cutscenes are not presented very well. They lack impact, and the writing lacks any sort of quality as well. So it was not presented in a way that kept me hooked for long. So I played the intro, and then, as Psychonic said, once that introductory stuff is done and the actual gameplay happens, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, the husband died essentially, right? So the two people who are supposed to be like the symbol of peace are already shattered right at the beginning of the game. So now we're just some kind of princess doing random shit, like gathering some dungeon items or whatnot. So I don't know.
Mushrooms.
Yeah, mushrooms, and we gotta collect 4 something weapons or for whatever reasons. Or I don't know, man. They introduce a story and then go a completely opposite direction. So we're supposed to be like the peace faction, but now that we're alone, we're somehow related to some evil guy or whatnot. Like, they need our blood, and we're like the super powerful chosen princess one. I don't know. It makes no sense really. Like they start off with a good story idea, and then they just completely ditch it and go collect the not crystals of light. It's weapons in this game, but yeah, go to dungeons and collect shit. That like they just completely throw the narrative out of the window.
So basically, they played Real Tron's game where you have to collect the weapons as well and put it in their game, basically.
I mean, it's always something with RPGs, right? It's like either collect some crystals of light, which is totally not Final Fantasy or anything, or collect weapons, collect orbs, collect stones, whatever. It's like always collect X amount of something to save the world, and of course shortly before you got everything done, the evil faction is gonna come in and take it all away or whatever. That's like every RPG.
So what I got from this, like, story writing is like one of the hardest thing you can do in RPG, even creating an RPG Maker game, because you have to at least create something that's original that can hook your players, right? So this developer, they went the route, okay, there's two different kingdoms, and there's there's a war going on between both the kingdoms, which makes sense, so in order to stop the fighting, from both of the kingdoms, let's put our children, our prince and princess, and let's marry them together, in order to bring peace, because one side could see, our beloved prince love the enemy's daughter, basically, and they could get along. Why can't we as a nation get along, right? So they went about that route. But the thing, even with something small like that, it feels like they was already infatuated with each other anyways.
Yeah, that was majorly weird. Like, it's kind of a forced marriage, right? Like an arranged marriage between two kingdoms, right? That's what they did in medieval times. But the princess is already kind of in love with the prince anyway. They known each other since childhood and whatnot, and he already tried to woo her anyway. So that was a bit odd. Like, there's two kingdoms at war here, but those two guys, they've been playing as children already. Huh?
Exactly.
How did that kind of work out?
They, like, when they read the vows, I would have kept it like, let's do this anyway, let's marry for the sake of the kingdom and stuff like that. Yeah, I would have kept it true like weird. That. It felt exactly. It felt like this developer, they went and freestyle the story. And what I mean by freestyle, like, there's no script or anything, you just type as you go.
Maybe they didn't want to do this kind of touchy subject in this day and age, arranged marriage and whatnot. Maybe they wanted to water it down, or I don't know, but it makes no sense. It just made no sense. Like, I was like, why is this princess so happy about this? This is an arranged marriage. Why is she happy about this? So she's not even supposed to know the guy because they at war.
Yeah.
But then the cutscene is like, oh yeah, we've known each other since forever. We've been like shitting our diapers together and what? And it was like, what? How? They at war with each other. How did they even met each other in the first place?
Maybe they haven't always been
weird.
At war. Maybe they haven't always been at war.
No, they have.
It says they've been at war for
so long they don't even remember why. That's what it said, and then there's this young princess and this young thing. Not even themselves know why they're at war. Like, the princess literally says it. Nobody has told her. and the intro says nobody remembers why they even at war with each other, and now they just been childhood friends, and no, it makes no sense, not at all.
And
Yeah. Oh, and when it comes to freestyling, that's how I do it too. I don't actually plan out I have like a rough idea of what I'm trying to do, and then the details are the freestyle to get to your overall goal at the end, so to speak. But it can be, if you don't do it right, it can go really bad really quick.
Yeah.
And I feel like this game lost its direction storyline wise after
after the intro.
right after the intro.
Yeah, because
right when the game started, it all of a sudden goes all out the window.
Like, I already knew that was going to happen. I already knew the soldier was going to come in and say, hey, we're under attack. Like, where else is the developer going to go with raising a plot solution? It could have been maybe, the prince got murdered and was framed. She was framed. That could have been something. But I already had a feeling that somebody was going to crash the wedding because there was other people coming in. But the part that I really don't understand is what Harlequin already elaborate on was, all of a sudden she has the blood of the High Demon Lord, and even with the dialogue, Aaron, who was the hero character, was like, that means that you're either the Demon Lord was your father, or,
which makes no sense.
Exactly. If you're born of a king and queen, you're the princess, or the queen had has some infidelity going on, and
even that would make no sense, because the premise is the two kingdoms, neither of them remember why they are at war in the first place. That means they've been at war for quite some time, like hundreds of years. How is she related to that guy in any way? Like, it must be like a super descendant, like over the ages, like 100 generations or whatnot.
She must be like his sister or something. Like maybe they're related.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
I don't think he can be her father. At least that doesn't make any sense. She's way too young for that.
Like we could all agree, maybe a backstory, showing the the differences of the two different kingdoms, why they was at war. It could have been over the weapons that we must find, the sacred weapons. Maybe, there was a god that blessed both kingdoms, like Isaac and Ishmael. They're sons of Abraham, but there's two different kingdoms. One had the blessing, the other did. It could be a whole different route that the developer could have went through to make the story make sense. And that's why I say sometimes most games need a intro story, especially if you have something like this going on, because it's just going to leave your player in a big draw of a blank. Like, we have no idea what's going on, and it's sad throughout the whole game. It still carries that same weight. You don't know what the heck is going on. You run into these characters, like we run into another character, like a what do you call it, like an angel.
Like
an angel.
Oh, that angel. Oh,
yeah, you run into an angel that
was fucking random,
comes out of nowhere and say, yeah, you got to do this, you got to get the 4 weapons. But what's the legend behind the 4 weapons? I found 2 weapons. There's no backstory for each weapon that you find. You know what I mean? It's like you fight a boss that don't make any sense. You know what I mean? You fight a boss that don't make any sense. You get the weapon and you move on. You know what I mean? You get like a couple dialogue and it says go south for the second weapon or go east for the third weapon. Like, you don't get no story in between to really hook the player in. It feels like a side quest. That's what it feels like. It feels like a side quest than the main quest. You know, so you already got a big burden against you as a developer. And when I say a burden, you have a bare bones out of the box game. A bare bones out of the box game. And what I mean by bare bones out of the box game, that means that, you know, you pretty much developed around the database that was included when you hit new project. A lot of stuff was remained. Even had the hero Aaron didn't have any changes to his physique or feature, because we know Hero is one of the actors, and that's exactly who Aaron is.
Yeah, they also have the potion, the stimulant, and whatnot, the antidote or whatever it was. They have the spark and the fire. Like, they just left it all in there.
Exactly. And the mapping, you know, like the
we're already moving on to
no, not yet. I mean, like, I'm just pulling out points of how bare bone it is. But, you know, as you progress, like trying to find the weapons, like get the weapons, you know, you got to go through the dungeon and stuff like that. But there's no lore or anything in between.
Yeah, there's no incentive even.
Yeah, which is very hard to keep your player maintained in the game. It's basically impossible, because, you know, nothing is making any sense. Even the character that you get here, you know what I mean? I thought he was optional. I thought he was an optional character.
Fucking random ass hunter just lying in a cave, like, what?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, he's in the cave, blocked by a dragon, right? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you go in the cave, you go fight the dragon, you know. After you fight the dragon, you go inside the door behind the dragon. He's laying on the ground hurt. He said that dragon got the best of me. That doesn't make any sense at all.
I mean, the objective wasn't even to go in that cave in the first place. Like, story-wise, you were supposed to go back to that forest section where you burned everything, but the guard doesn't let you. But he doesn't tell you why. So, yeah, this section right on the screen now. It's like, you're not supposed to go in that cave, really. Nobody tells you to. It's just there.
Yeah.
You can't progress unless you do.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
You're not supposed to go in that cave at all. The old man said go west, then you go southeast. After you get out that cave, you go southeast back to the forest where you came from.
Yeah,
that was the mission.
Like bury the prince for some reason. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It make the whole story just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, you have no idea of any of your powers, so essentially your character makes no sense.
Yeah.
She's like, she has no fear whatsoever. Like, she has a dark fucking cult going after her.
Yeah,
for some reason. And she knows nothing, and she's like not even afraid or anything. Nah, she's like, I'm just gonna go back there and bury that other guy without a care in the world. Like, what?
And when you go Super Saiyan, you see all your abilities that you learn. Like,
they just put her at max level.
Like, why not just made that an auto event and just have her casting like high power abilities? You know, knowing that the character is not going to reach these abilities for some time. Like you see everything that you can learn when you have control of her. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, the story presentation is awful. Like the cutscenes and everything, like it's there and it does convey what's happening, but it has no impact. Like when she goes like Super Saiyan mode over her dead husband, there's no impact. She's just, oh my goodness, I'm strong now. Like there's a screen shake and that's it. Like there's no transformation or no red eyes or other effects or anything going on.
Exactly.
A screen shake and then you're in battle and you're just one-shotting everything with a regular attack. Like, okay, that's not really interesting.
Exactly.
And like, yeah, so many, like, it's not plot holes, I guess. Like it makes no sense to her reactions to everything. Like no person would ever react in the way she does when shit like that would happen to any of us. Like your husband just died and you're doing this anime moment, right, where your comrade dies and all of a sudden you're super powerful now because of the power of friendship and whatnot. So you one-shot the bad guys and then you pass out and then you suddenly in a hidden village, like on the other side of the fucking continent, because there is a river in between. Like, how did this old guy even rescue you? Like, of enemies there's like bandits and scorpions and whatnot. How did that old guy even get there to rescue you?
Yeah, like,
how did that even happen?
Exactly. Maybe, the old man could have played a role, like a deeper role, but he already explained that we don't have nothing to do with either kingdoms. We think their war is foolish. Maybe he could have been part of it. I don't know. Like, yeah, like
they're not involved in the war, but the first thing they do is like get involved in the war by rescuing the princess. Like that doesn't make any sense either. Like none of it makes any sense. All the actions of the character are not what they're supposed to be. You can't be a village elder in a village that's essentially like Switzerland and stays neutral and hidden. But then go and rescue the princess of one of the warring nations.
You do know where they at, though. If you look at the map, they're in the deep forest. Like, how the heck? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you try to make it sense, man.
Every reaction and every action of every character is like in stark contrast to what they tell you. Like, we're not involved in the war, but we are involved in the war now because, I don't know, there's no really reason to. I don't even know how he even got there in the first place and how he knew that the princess was, like, lying in the forest there.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no sense. None of it makes any fucking sense.
Maybe it's not supposed to make sense. That's what they're trying. That's probably what they're trying to get to. Maybe it is not supposed to make any sense.
Yeah, they're gonna do this huge ass plot twist, of course, where the princess is now the evil guy and the forest village is maybe your hideout or whatnot. Yeah, they're gonna do that, sure.
I mean, but overall, it's tough. It's really hard to stay focused in this game. Like, it really is, because one, you're trying to figure out a story. You know, even when there's moments, it should be a nice cut scene in some backstory or story being told. You don't get that. You don't get that at all. Even before you go to to get the first weapon, you go get the what's that? The sorceress. You talk to her brother. Matter of fact, that's your next goal. When you get out this cave, you gotta go and talk to look for this guy, because the angels say go look for this guy named Ryan. So you go to the town of Kuo and you look for Ryan, who has a sister that is waiting for you. So even when you go meet the sister, the dialogue, oh, who are you? Who's asking? It's like, that's one thing in this game. If they say, who are you? All the NPC says, who's asking? Like, they're robotic. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, bro, didn't I just read this dialogue? It's like, it's deja vu. Like it was deja vu all over again.
The
I just read
characters
this.
are indistinguishable, really. But like even the first meeting with the angel makes no sense, right? You go to your dead husband, and then this angel pops up and tells you, yeah, you got the blood of like the bad guy, and now all of a sudden you're supposed to collect some weapons in order to defeat or seal the demon.
And I
Like,
thought,
but why though?
and I thought the
Why?
angel was going to resurrect the husband at first. I say,
If
oh
anything,
man.
yeah, but why are we supposed to do that? Like, if anything, if the angel wanted to like, prevent the resurrection of the demon, the sensible option would be to kill the princess. And not have her running across the entire fucking world collecting weapons alone.
What was that, Cychronic?
I was gonna say why. I mean, and this angel. Why doesn't the angel help? I mean, just like, hey,
Weird, but
hey,
that's
what's
pretty
up?
standard, though, right?
Hey, what's up? By the way, I need you to go get some weapons.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like,
By the way, like, evil guy's your daddy, and now you gotta beat him up and collect some weapons, and now I gotta go see ya. Like, huh? Why?
Exactly.
It makes no sense. Like as I said, the sensible option would have been like to kill the princess, right? Get rid of the problem, because her blood is the source of the problem. If that wasn't there, ain't nobody gonna revive the demon, right? So why are we sending her to travel across the country, being an open target to the cult, collecting some kind of weapons in order to fight them?
Yeah,
That
like what could most, like, I think Leyline Chronicles was like that too. You know, whoever's Leyline sensitive, you know, at least in that game, they had a meaning of why you're Leyline and why people was kidnapping them and offering them up for sacrifice, because
Yeah.
you know they were used as catalysts to like revive the demons. You know, if you had that Leyline bloods, that made sense. But this game,
the princess is clearly like powerful, right? She did have her like Super Saiyan moment, so she's clearly the chosen one. We know that, but it doesn't make sense at that point in the story. Like, she doesn't know about that.
exactly, she have an idea, but it's like I just don't see it. I just don't see
it. Would
it.
have been better if the angel was like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you now to like prevent all of this from happening, and she could then go and somehow prove herself or something like that, and not just go, oh, by the way, you got this blood thing going, and now you gotta collect weapons, and then she's just like, okay, like that doesn't make any sense. Like, it needs an incentive to do that, because at that point in the story, she's just a regular girl.
Exactly. That's exactly all she is.
It's not like she gets like an elite guard or whatnot, and I don't know, support from her kingdom or anything at all. It just doesn't make any sense.
Nice.
Like, your first party member is like some random hunter guy that follows you for no reason. Like, he's in the cave to protect the village, and then he goes like on a whim, just, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow you around now because it seems fun, huh? He just abandoning his post, abandoning his village to follow her around for no reason. Like, you don't even know her, dude.
His reasons is because, you know, he wanted to get that type of kill on his list. Like when you fight the Chimera, he said, I've never killed a Chimera before. That'd be a good one for the list. Or he made.
Yeah, I mean that can work, but the presentation isn't there.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Just goes, I'm following you now, huh?
Yeah. See, this is what I mean by sometimes when people freestyle, they just go with comes to mind. You know, they come with goes to mind. But if he actually sat down and write out the plot and write out the story, you know, like you will a book, then it probably would have made a lot more sense. But this is clearly a first project. Like like the ins
I
and
hope
out.
it is. I
This
sure
is
hope it is.
this is
If
clearly
not a first project, holy shit.
this is
Like,
I'm praying that it's a first project. I'm
I
praying.
swear, man, the characters are also one-dimensional. Like they have no life, right? They have no backstory. They have no life. They purely exist for the player. That's why the hunter guy just goes, "Oh, I'm gonna follow you now for no reason." Like he tells you he's protecting the village for the most part, but he just goes and abandons that idea completely just on a whim. Like he's not like, man, I want to kill these big games, but also the village and whatnot. Like there's no backstory to that. Like he's all right. He likes to hunt, okay, but he must have felt some kind of duty to the village, because why does he protect it in the first place?
You do know
He has no obligation to do so.
you do know every town is the same too, right?
No, I didn't get to a second time.
Like all the dialogue's the same. You know, everything is like deja vu.
By the
You've
same
been
person,
you've
yeah,
been
just copy.
you've been there before.
Oh,
So I mean, overall, guys, you know, the story starts off. Then we're gonna move on to the next topic. The story starts off. You know, your princess. You woke up in your room. You're talking about you're nervous. Oh, I'm about to get married to the prince of the other nation. Our parents put the wedding together, you know, because we want to show peace. You know, we're trying to show peace within the nation. Okay. Long story short, during the vows, you know, a soldier came running in. The king said, "What's the meaning of this?" You know, like every king always said, "What's the meaning of this?"
what is the meaning of this?
You know what I mean? Then they say you're under attack, and it's like the king didn't believe him at first. Like, are you lying? He was like, "I know you're joking, right?" You know what I mean? But it turned out to be
There's one more thing since you mentioned it right now.
what's that?
Like remember how the king says they're not ready to fight the
Yeah.
How are you not ready? You at war. Where's your soldiers at? Where's your weapons? You at fucking war. What do you mean you can't fight?
Oh my
guys?
gosh, yeah.
What do you mean that you've been fighting a war so long that you don't have full war mobilization?
Oh
What the
my
fuck is that shit, man?
gosh.
There's like 5 guys running at the kingdom, and he's like, "Oh, we're not ready." He's like, "What?"
That makes sense. But
Man, what they fighting war with, like sticks, or I don't fucking know, man. They must have sent the children or something, because I don't know why they wouldn't be ready for that.
I don't know myself, but you know, it's just some things just don't make sense. Like you gotta
this is
make
the
it make
biggest
sense.
wedding in the history of this country, right? They marrying across kingdoms to unite 2 kingdoms, and there's no security whatsoever. Like there's like 5 cultists coming in, and there's no security. They're just allowed to waltz in there and then destroy everything, because they're not ready. They totally didn't expect any acts of terror or any like, you know, there's always kind of people who just are pro-war, right? In every movie, in every story ever, there's always some people that would prefer the war going on, right? So normally what you'd expect the king to do is like have high security for a fucking wedding like that.
Yes.
So that any terrorists or war people don't fuck it up.
Yes.
And then he's like, "Oh no, we're not ready." Like, huh? How is that even a possibility?
Yeah, that's not good.
That was so bad, man. I was almost quitting the game at that point already. I was like, "Oh, fuck that shit, man. Doesn't make any sense at all."
It sure don't, because like
We're not ready.
a lot of things you try to make sense out this game, you just can't do it. Like regardless of what you do, you just cannot make sense of it. And I mean,
winging a story is fine. I do it too. I do it all the time. I wing all my fucking games, because that's just how I do it. But like, you gotta sit down and think about
Think it
if
through.
if what you're doing makes sense. Like, if you sit there and just a minute and think about the wedding of the century is happening, and there is no security, and they're not ready, despite being at war for hundreds of years. They're not ready for a bunch of cultists running in. Like, huh? That doesn't make any sense. Like, it just takes a minute to figure that out.
Yeah, you figure you have everything, you have all the guards, everything ready. And especially like these demons, like there's no history of these demons amongst both kingdoms. There's none. You know what I mean? So like,
yeah, there's just like the evil guy who apparently has summoned a demon. Like, that's all I know. That's all they told you. And you're somehow related to that guy who summoned the demon, and the demon is sealed. That's the story.
you have that blood, but at the same time, how young the princess is, they at least should have some knowledge, especially if she isn't of the king or queen. Like,
It's weird. Like, none of the kingdoms, neither one knows why they're at war.
unless
But the cult knows, and the angel just tells you straight up, like, yeah, you that evil guy's descendant or whatnot.
she's
and
adopted. That's the only thing I
really. I mean, but it should be a big reveal, right? Like, if you make it a plot point that neither kingdom even remembers anymore, and then you just go and drop that bomb out of nowhere, and it's like not a big deal. That's boring.
Yeah. So Critical Fits developer, Critical Fits.
Think your story through.
Think the story
Sit
through.
down and think about what makes sense and what doesn't.
Yeah, give us like a little background, like it may not be for this game, but for your next project, if there is, give us a intro scene. You know what I mean? Like, especially.
Or like just. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, you know, pretend that the game isn't your game. Pretend that somebody else made the game. Doesn't make sense. You know, think it through with, you know, because I always try to do that with my game. Is like, imagine that I don't know anything about my universe or my game or my characters or anything.
Yeah.
And doesn't this make sense if you wiped your memory and this was somebody else's game that you found on Steam and you downloaded it?
Yeah, it's the same with characters too. Like, what I do is I try to like impersonate my characters, right? If I write a character in a certain way, I'm thinking about how would they react to certain things. And if I was like a princess, and even if I had like basic sword training, which they often do in like anime and whatnot, right? They train their princesses in swordplay for some reason. I don't know why, but even if I had that, if I had like this big reveal that I'm somehow related to the evil guy, I would have probably had a mental breakdown or something, or anything at all, and not just go, all right, I'm gonna grab these 4 divine whatever weapons and just go on about my business. That doesn't make any sense. And try to do that for like every character, like the hunter guy as well. Okay, he's a hunter guy and he likes to hunt game, but what else?
He likes to hang around the princess, that's for sure.
Yeah, for some reason he creeps around the princess. Yeah, for no reason at all. I don't know, maybe he likes her or whatnot. I don't know. But it makes no sense. Why is he in that cave? Why did he get beaten up by a dragon? Why is there a dragon in the first place? And stuff like that. Like, you need more background to your characters to make them feel different and alive.
Yeah.
You just have it there because of reasons, because of the player. If everything's just there for the player, it feels flat. It makes every NPC just feel like an NPC and not an alive person. So that's what at least I try to do with most of my characters, is like try to get in their shoes and think of a background, like what did they do before the game? Like, what's their job? What is their life like? What is their character like? How would they react to certain things? And how do they interact with people?
Yeah, I try to do that with my 18 characters.
I mean, man, that's your own grave. You dug that yourself.
That's too many characters. Too
You
many.
gotta do it though, right? You can't have 18
I
characters
can
and
pull it
have
off.
them flat as fuck, right? They gotta have some kind of background to them.
Yeah, I can pull it off though, but it's
Yeah,
not.
sure.
It's not the easiest thing.
It's effort, of course, and the more characters you have, the more effort it is. But
Exactly.
you can't skip it.
Exactly.
Especially not for your like main characters, for your cast, for your playable characters. They need background. They need personality.
Plus,
and all that stuff.
Plus, his game is detail oriented anyway, so it's expected with you, Cyclonic, for your game to be like more overly explained than others, because it really is. Because you have a lot of factions and wars, and all your games are connected. Even though there's 3 different games, they're all connected in the same universe, so it makes sense.
It's an entire fucking universe. It has to have a lot of fucking world building in there to make it feel like a universe and not just a country or whatnot, a map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So developer, if you're watching or will watch this podcast episode, definitely think out your story next time. Especially, it's okay to leave your players in the dark, but sometimes when the times to make sense and to hook us in, you gotta have that bait already on that fishing line, or you're not gonna be able to bait anybody with this. Even though
gotta reel them in first.
Even though the story, is interesting, yeah. Why? How am I a demon? What's the special part of why I'm a demon, or who am I related to? I've been playing. I probably got 3 hours into this game, and I already found 2 of the divine weapons, and not one hint about me being a demon has been brought up again. Not one.
There's no world building in there. That's a big problem. You can't skip that part. It doesn't work. It just makes your game boring. No matter, like I found the intro relatively interesting, but you just dropped the ball right afterwards.
Yeah, it's like you lost.
There's no world here. It's just an objective. Like, collect these weapons, but why? What are these weapons? Why do we need them in the first place? Like, the demon is already sealed. Why do we need these weapons to fight the cult now? The cult are just guys, just stabbing. I don't need no divine weapons to stab guys, right? So why do we need them? It's not explained. You need background. You need world building for that. Like, it's like Labyrinth said the other day. Why do I give monster crystals to the player, which are exchanged for money? Why not just give them money? Because it's world building. Monsters don't have money. Why would they have money, right? They drop crystals because that's like their heart or their soul or whatever. And the guild is using them for whatever reason, like maybe to power shit. I don't fucking know. And that's why you exchange them for money.
Yeah,
it's world building.
It don't make sense. A monster running around with 1,000 coins.
Yeah. Why would a scorpion have a purse on him? Right? It makes no sense. It's gamey. So what I do is I have these monster crystals. It's just world building. It's an extra step. Sure, like technically I could give the player just money. Why not? But it's world building. It's important. It's part of what makes the game world feel real.
And I played a lot of games where humans only drop money and monsters only drop like like monster parts.
Or
materials. Which makes a lot of sense. And some people,
it's all world building. It's small details about the world that make it feel alive, that make it feel real in some sense.
So this definitely gonna tie into moving to our second topic is the world building and stuff like that. It's already at a big competition, regardless if your game is free or not. Developer, you got a lot of big shoes to fill, because on itch.io there's lots of RPG Maker games that is offering themselves for free.
Yeah,
and
I think it's like 6,000 or whatnot, or more even.
Yeah, it's a whole lot, and they go through certain formulas to stand out. So in your case, in your case, developer, you got to ask yourself this. If my story isn't getting my players, how is my gameplay doing? How is my maps look? How does my battle system? Is it fun to the players? Is it challenging? Is it balanced where they can enjoy the gameplay aspect of the game and not just the story? So when you're developing with RPG Maker and you put your game on a place like itch.io, more than likely, those who going to review your game or see your game is either people that's involved in RPG Maker, right? So they're going to look at your project. They're automatically going to look, one, the lack of screenshots that you have on your itch.io page is not inviting. Only thing you have is the title screen. And when they do launch it, they're going to see your style of mapping and the RTP. The maps don't look too bad. Like, some of the maps don't look too bad. But some of it
sample maps. I'm not sure. I can never recognize
I don't think
them
there's,
because I for the longest time I didn't even know they existed. I have not used a single sample map. I didn't know they existed in the first place. Like, where are they even? Where can I even find them? But some of the thing why I'm bringing this up is like some of the maps looked better than others. So my conclusion was maybe they are sample maps they used, because the quality drop in other maps is just too severe. I don't think the same person made these two maps, right? That's what my thought was, at least. Like, some of the maps are decent, and some are just horrible with a lot of empty space in the box. So I was like, is that a sample map maybe, or whatnot? I don't know.
okay. I don't think a lot of them are sample maps.
I honestly don't know, but like the first city where you start out,
Mhm.
where the Hulk got rescued, that was a decent map, right?
Yeah.
Like, if we take this as a beginner project, that was a decent map. And then you go to like the path with where the guard is blocking you at first. Like, that looks like shit.
Yeah.
Right? It's just a whole bunch of fucking trees in the sand. Well, why are there even trees in the first place? It looks like a fucking desert. Like, There's like such a huge difference in quality between those maps that I'm thinking maybe they use sample maps. But I don't know. I don't recognize sample maps.
What about you, Thychronic? What you think about the map style in this game?
I thought the mapping sucked. I thought that, like, sure, some were better than others, but yeah, like the mapping in general sucked.
I mean, it totally did, but like, I was like the town looked okay, right, for a town. Like, we've seen worse towns for sure.
Yeah, we've seen worse, yeah, but it was definitely not even.
And then I go to this valley part, and it looks like shit. So,
yeah, like totally, like a valley with like totally square, like long rows of.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
And like, what was that other section? Like the cave too, the weird water cave. Like, that looks like crap. Like, why is there a waterfall coming out of a wall you can walk behind? Where's that water coming from?
Look.
Yeah, but I didn't like the mapping. I just thought it just looks like a million other games I've seen before on RPG Maker, and with using the default assets, and yeah, it kind of just seems really generic to me.
I will call it generic because, one, some people don't have that ability to create beautiful maps, and it's already a challenge. When people already think big maps are better versus, especially with the RTP tile set, there's only so much decorations that you can use inside like a building or in a dungeon. So people create these bitmaps and stack all these item crates together and these barrels together all in the corner. You know, that's the beginner style creation mapper. Like right up through the whole game, this is the developer style. Now, I'm not going to bash them for mapping because, you know, everybody don't have that ability to create great maps. But at the same time,
it depends on whether or not this is a first-time project or not.
which
If
I
it's
think
a
it is.
first-time project, which I also think it is, because it just plays like one.
Yeah.
The entire thing screams first-timer to me.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and say it is a first-timer project. And for that, I guess the maps were serviceable. I mean, they served a purpose. They didn't look nice.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen worse. Like, I've seen a lot worse too. Like, even that city you're in now, that big house, it's not bad. But yeah, I don't know. That's the weird thing. The city looked alright for a first-timer project, and then you enter this fucking shop and there's like a football field of empty space. Like, I don't know, man. These maps vary so wildly in quality that I don't know what they did there. But look at that shop. Like, there's 4 bookcases there, bookshelves, and the rest is empty space. And then you go in a weapon shop and it's a lot better already. Like, there's armor everywhere and there's tables and whatnot. So I don't know what the fuck they did.
Yeah, they have good maps here and questionable maps there. But
Yeah,
I could
it's weird. It's so weird.
the dungeons, I could clearly tell you this. They tried their best. It's not the best design, but for what it is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, it's hard to make appealing maps with RTP, to be honest. Like, especially if you try to go for bigger maps, there's not enough things on the tile set to make it look good. It's just not.
And that's why
RTP just fucking sucks.
And that's why I say most developers, they create these bit maps and with these big spaces, and they just throw random stuff to fill it up. You know what I mean? Like, they just do that.
Fix it. Like, there's a shit ton of free shit on the internet, right?
Yeah.
You can fix the RTP and have a lot of additions to it. It can work, but using like the blank RTP, it's hard because there is not a lot of variation. There's like 2 different trees, and that's pretty much it. And the trees are only 4 times big, like 2 by 2.
Mm-hmm.
How are you gonna fill a 50 by 50 map with that tree? That's a whole ass lot of trees, and that's gonna look shit.
Yeah.
No way around it.
Yeah.
So if you're using RTP, try to generally, if you're making maps, and especially if you're new with RPG Maker, try to make your maps as small as you possibly can. Like, really cram it down to like the minimum size you absolutely need for the map to function, and fill that. And if it's too small, then you can add a couple of tiles. But try to make every map as small as you possibly can get away with, because it will just look better, and there's no reason for it to be that big in the first place, because there's nothing. If you got empty space everywhere, what's the point of the size?
Yeah, I would concur with that for sure.
Yeah, always start your maps thinking about the minimum required space and work off of that, and not just go, I'm gonna make this map 50 by 50 and just roll with that. It doesn't work like that, especially not on RTP.
Agreed. So
if you got like FSM tile set, that might be a different story, because everything on there is big. Like, the trees are big. The trees is like 2 by 3 or 2 by whatever that other tree size was. They have bigger trees, but everything on the FSM tile set is fucking big. So everything takes up more space, so you can make bigger maps with it, and it has a lot more things on it.
Also, I make pretty big maps with my parallax maps, because I might make like a massive statue or something like that.
Yeah, you can do that too, but is parallaxing really something a beginner should do?
No.
That's the thing. That's why I say, like, if you're using RTP or like RTP plus, if you go with like free editions, there is plenty. Like, don't get me wrong, you can make the RTP very beautiful with all the community made stuff. But yeah, try to start your maps as small as you can possibly get away with. That helps a lot.
Exactly. So I did notice, this game does have puzzles. Some of the puzzles don't make any sense, but I do see they try to be original with the puzzles in their mapping. Like there's one puzzle where there's 8 different levers that's not really giving you any generated order, and there's a lot of stuff you need to read in order to know which lever to choose. Wow.
Oh, no.
Getting in,
not the reading.
while getting into random encounters.
Oh, he pulled an epic wings.
Then if you choose the wrong lever, it resets. So I say screw it, screw all the reading, and just guessed.
Yeah, brute force it, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did, and I probably got it within 10 tries.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. Like, having the player read shit in order to solve your puzzle, in my opinion, is never a good idea. Nobody wants to do that.
So
Nobody wants to go around and look for books to read in order to figure out the order of levels. Like, have some clues in the environment, perhaps.
It's
not make it a text box.
It's what you call it. If there was no random encounters, I would have dealt with it. It would have been fine. But as you can see, this game, guys, like, it started off good. The balanced battles start off wonderful. The world map enemies, the enemies in the cave. But when you go to these higher levels, the game pretty much play as it's impossible. It's grindable. You have to grind. Even grinding doesn't work in this game, because every battle is playing the same. Every fight.
You get higher stats, right, from leveling up.
You don't, presumably, you don't know your stats increases, and you definitely too frustrated to check.
I had to grind because I skipped every battle in the cave, right? I just went straight to the dragon, and I beat it pretty easily. You can just spam your double attack move because you regenerate almost all TP it costs. Like, it costs 20 TP and you get like 2 hits in, which each gives you like 8 TP back. And it costs a minimal amount of MP, so you can spam that shit forever. Almost.
Yeah, like...
So I'm just gonna beat that guy up, but as soon as I went into that valley on the west side, I suddenly couldn't escape anymore. Like, I needed 2, 3, 4 tries to actually escape. While in the cave, I could just escape every time. So I'm not sure what they did with the escape formula. Maybe I thought maybe my agility was too low for that valley area, right? So I was trying to grind so I can reliably escape again because the battles are fucking boring.
Exactly. And it seems like every battle is the same. The bosses fights like enemies.
Yeah, they all do like, what was it, slash and attack?
Slash, attack. Then when you start fighting the enemies, the 4 enemies, it literally takes 8 hits to kill one.
Oh, that sucks.
And I'm doing double attack, triple attacks. You can only do so much because the resources are limited. You don't get enough gold, to comfortably buy higher equipment with items. You really don't. So the game is grindy, and a lot of people don't have time to grind out a game. They really don't.
And the grinding isn't fun in this. In this game, it's not fun.
Yeah, because it takes so long to win a battle. It's like these battles right here. it's not even worth fighting. Like these chickens, not even worth fighting. You might as well escape.
That's what I did.
You might as well escape. You know what I mean?
Money seemed kind of imbalanced to me too. Like you're getting a whole bunch of money, and potions are dirt cheap, and every chest has a potion. I feel like I don't think I ever found anything else.
But
potions in a chest.
But when you buy armor, only enough
like
$600, $800.
Oh, that's expensive.
Some weapons are 2,000.
Okay, so gear is the expensive part.
Yeah, like
it's just they're cheap for some reason. Okay.
Like you're not gonna even with a little grind, you're still not gonna have enough because you're constantly, even if you're fighting, you're going to at least be healing after every battle. You're going to heal after every battle. You're going to use potions after every battle. Then you got to turn around.
I just bought a shit ton of potions, and I didn't even check out the shops. I went into no houses in the city. I didn't give a shit because by that point I already knew they dropped the ball. Right, the intro cutscene was happening, and all of a sudden they dropped the ball. Right, so I already lost interest in any and every NPC they could possibly have. Like I didn't check the shops. I didn't go anywhere. I just went straight into the fucking water cave dungeon.
There is some treasures inside the houses and stuff like that. So
I don't give a shit. Like I found 2 chests outside in the city, like that had each a potion, and the chests in the water dungeon had a potion in every chest. So I didn't give a shit about that anymore either.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of a treasure chest when there's like one fucking potion in there? Like a potion is like what did it cost? 10 gold or whatnot? What am I gonna do with that shit?
You're gonna use it. You're gonna use the potion.
Why would I take extra steps that could potentially trigger a fucking random encounter?
Oh yeah.
In order to get to that chest when I can just buy 99 potions because they're dirt cheap.
Yeah, and the random encounters I felt like were a little too high.
It was okay in the cave, in the water cave. I felt it was alright.
That was balanced.
In the valley, all of a sudden they shot up like crazy. I'm on 3 steps and I'm in a fucking battle again. I was like, oh no. Why they doing an epic wings?
The cave fight was balanced. Those were balanced fights.
The water cave felt alright.
Everything else. Put it like this. I got to level 19. That's how much grinding I did.
Oh my goodness.
I got to level 19. I fought one boss. I fought another boss, right? There's a secret boss inside of a cave that gives you like really good gear, you know. I had triple attack, I had poison, I had all the good abilities. I had 4 battlers at this time. I had 4 battlers. All together, I probably was doing like probably 4,000 damage in a turn. Poison was doing like 30,000 each round.
30,000.
30,000.
That means that boss had like 1,000,000 HP or whatnot.
Put it like this: it took me 15 minutes to beat that boss.
Oh my god, that's like how much HP did they just give max HP to the boss? Like, isn't there a database limit for that?
And guess how much experience I got when I won?
Not enough.
2,000.
Oh my god, 15 minutes on 2K.
Not even to level up.
Oh fuck that, man. Fuck that. Oh, that's horrible.
About this part where you know on the screen right now where you see how it's taking so many hits to take these guys down. This is basically where I was like,
oh my god,
fuck this, and then signed out.
I would
stop there, like, holy shit, man.
Bro, you see, I'm doing like triple attack, the AoE attack. I'm doing the best of my abilities. I'm doing everything the best way I can, and I felt like I grinded as much as I could too. And nothing. I lost this fight. I think I lost this one.
Man, speaking of lost this fight, I was so mad at that fucking Chimera boss. Like, out of nowhere, you're just fighting a boss. Like there was no save point before that, no warning, whatnot. It's just bam, boss.
I mean,
Like, what the fuck, man?
I knew something was coming, but at the same
I
time,
mean, yeah, I did because the map, like, it was telling. The map was telling. Oh my god, here's a boss for sure. But like in the water cave, they made it so you have the save point in front of the boss, right?
mm-hmm.
So I assume that's what they're going for. Every boss is gonna have a save point in front of them. Like,
Yeah.
they should. If you're gonna go with that system, you gotta go with that system. Like, keep it consistent, and don't give me a fucking surprise boss on a bridge without no save point in front of that. Like, I could have been low as fuck, maybe, right? And maybe I didn't save because nowadays games have autosave features. Like, you know, we're living in 2023. Give me an autosave. Fuck. And then you go there, maybe you're low, and then you just drop a fucking boss at me with like a shit ton of HP out of nowhere. Imagine if I had died to that. I would have had to replay everything from the fucking water cave again.
Mm-hmm. You sure would.
And nobody is gonna do that. Nobody. If I have to replay that much, I'm gonna quit your fucking game and I'm gonna fucking sue you if I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah, the saving thing, like not being able to save where you want, or even an auto save, it always like really bugs me when games do that.
I mean, it didn't bother me, but at the same time, oh
yeah,
man,
you're used to it, right? You're playing. You've played a million RPG Maker games. You're used to bad games. You're used to saving after every random encounter because you know the game crash every 2 minutes.
yeah.
You're used to that shit. But I'm not, because I play quality games, and quality games have autosave. I don't give a shit about saving. I expect my games to autosave at relevant points.
Gotcha.
Because we're living in the modern age. You got the technology, use it.
Yep.
And especially, like, I could tell you, this level right here, I beat it because I came to common sense. I said, look, it doesn't make sense to even fight these battles anymore. So I had to luck up and just stop fighting enemies and just run away. Run away. Run away. You're best running away, or you're going to be losing a whole bunch of potions. You know what I mean? You're going to be losing a whole bunch of potions. Even they have a roll system in this game as well, which don't do jack. You know what I mean? I had.
It felt like they just dropped a bunch of fucking Yanfly plugins that didn't do anything with it.
I had a whole bunch of. I had all my party members in the back row. They were still doing the same damage and still receiving the same damage. And you know, in the back row, you supposed to do less damage and receive less damage too.
Of things, right? Maybe back row characters can't be targeted by melee enemies and whatnot. You can do a lot of things with row system.
Not in this game.
But not in this game, right? In this game, it's just there because it was in the Yanfly plugin suite, and you just dropped it in there and didn't do anything with it.
And I looked at the plugins before I even started this game. I said, okay, this got the action sequence pack 1, 2, and 3. I said this game might got some action sequence in.
No. They just dropped everything in there. It's probably not even in the plugin manager.
Yeah, it's just in the.
They just didn't delete it.
Oh my gosh! I mean, and this when I come to realization, this is a beginner's RPG Maker game.
That's such a beginner thing to do. I did that too.
Which is fine.
Project, like, just drop every plugin in the folder so it's there when I need it.
Which is fine. See, guys, those who's watching the podcast right now, we are not here to, like put down the next developer. And the reason why I say this, if you go to the developers itch.io page, he clearly states this under his biography. I am a game developer and publisher here to help the indie developers get noticed.
Wait, that's on the page from this developer?
That's on the page from Kaiser Dragon 8.
Shit, man, that's the.
So that's telling you.
This is your effort to get us more notice, man. Get your game out of here. I don't. Oh my god.
I
That's
mean,
big words for someone making this shit.
don't get me wrong. He's
What you
a
mean?
he's a brother in the RPG Maker community. So this is why we're saying what we're saying. This is why I'm saying that, hey, you need to do this with your maps, you need to do this with your battle system, you need to do this, do that, because you want to stand out, especially if you're saying that you want to help the indie. You got to go a step further. You got to go a step a little bit further to show people that, hey, we can make quality games with RTP assets.
That's exactly the thing, right? You're going out there saying you're helping people, helping indie developers getting noticed, and this is what you put forward. The most generic ass first timer project anyone has ever seen is your effort to getting indies more notice. Are you fucking kidding me?
And I noticed some people, I noticed the chat. Veroclaw says, I don't think this game is garbage, and also I don't think it should be an option. If at least gives you a lot of things to improve, if it's given something. Some
know.
people,
the garbage option is sensible because it is garbage.
I think it's garbage too.
Yeah,
but
it just is garbage. That doesn't mean they should stop developing or shouldn't improve or whatever.
My
but
first projects were garbage too.
Yeah.
And that's not
what it is.
That's not what we're calling it, the developer. I mean, in all honesty, we're just rating the project how we see it.
Yeah. It is.
I don't think it's garbage. I think it's low tier. That's what I think.
Yeah. You would never. Yeah, but you're that type of person, right? You're the nice guy.
I mean,
you would never say
not
garbage.
even
you
that.
Wouldn't call any game garbage.
Not even that. I just realized what kind of game this is. Now, if I'm like, okay, Cychronic, let's say this Cychronic's game, and he's, selling it for $20 on Steam.
Still not call it garbage.
I would say it's a bad game.
No, you wouldn't.
You don't think I would?
No, you wouldn't.
I don't recall if you've ever said that any game was a bad game.
There's one game.
I got one game.
Not a bad game.
Yes.
And that's only because it was misrepresenting itself. Because and on the start page it said it was an epic RPG and whatnot, and what it ended up being was like an auto clicker thing,
which they charge money for.
Exactly. That's the only reason why it didn't get the not a bad game. So you wouldn't call any game garbage.
Padre say if I call this not a bad game, he's unsubbing. But you're the one that said, hold on, Padre just said he think we're being too harsh with that word too. Garbage is a harsh option. Beginner tier is probably a better wording.
But we don't know if it's true though. We can't be sure. It could be. It looks like a first timer project.
I mean,
sure. We don't know.
For a first project, it doesn't look too bad. Don't get me wrong.
Garbage.
It doesn't look too bad, but it has a lot of room for improvement. Well, and I'm comparing it with my first project, which I thought was all that in a bag of chips. I'm not lying.
We're not rating based on developer skill level though. We're not rating based on how experienced the developer is.
Yeah, you're right.
The game as it is.
Yeah.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
It is garbage. Yeah.
That's just what it is. It's garbage. It's a bad game. This is not fun to play. The story doesn't make sense. Nothing is original.
And I agree.
It's a bad game.
I agree. Like the fun factor left. The fun factor left when I got in this tower. It left. It really left. Like stuff.
For me, the game was dead the moment the intro was done. The moment the game started, the game was dead for me.
Yep.
Wow.
Because the intro already had like multiple plot points that made no sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then the combat started and it's garbage like that. Yeah, I'm not interested anymore. Sorry. It's just bad. And that's just what it is. But at the same time, that doesn't mean we're telling the developer to stop or whatnot or uninstall or whatever.
Yeah,
They can still improve it. That doesn't change the fact that this game is just bad.
this what we're trying. This what I'm trying to let them know. Them in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're not bullies.
We're not here to end your career or anything.
Exactly.
We're still here to make you improve your game.
And don't.
Yeah, we hope the next one is better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to have us play your game because of what you see in the review. I mean, if you want honest opinion, you know, RTP is the best way to do it. If you're paying me to play your game, I'm gonna tell you anything that you want to hear because I want your money. I want you to keep coming back. I'm just being honest. I'm just being freaking honest.
I wouldn't do that.
What? If somebody paying me $40 or $20
I was even telling one of my mapping customers off recently because they got so excited about my maps they wanted more, but their tile set was incomplete because the artist wasn't done with it. So I told them off. I told them to not commission any more maps until the artist is done with the tile set. Because he would need to pay me to do revisits on all the maps to add the new tiles and whatnot. That's just not good. I would have made more money perhaps, but why would I do that? I'd rather tell him to fucking wait. Shit. Guess I'm more honest than the Americans.
Oh Lord. I mean, it makes sense. If it's incomplete, then yeah, you don't want to.
It's a very simplistic style tile set, like maybe like early Pokemon games like that kind of style a little bit.
Okay.
So I could make a lot of maps with it still, but like, why though? Like, why commission all these maps and then when the additional tiles are in, you pay again for me to revisit all those maps? Why? It's just wasting your money.
Thank you, Padre. Appreciate it. $30 D7 would give it 11 out of 10.
Yeah, and the seven points in story, like a Darien account.
Keep coming back. I mean, a Darien accounts ain't have a bad story though. It made sense. It's just the gameplay. The gameplay was just bad. Like you gave us the first quest. You gave us a 50 question questionnaire that you had to get all the questions right.
Yeah.
Or fail it 3 times.
Or fail it 3 times, exactly. Which will affect the ending of the game. Which I did not see.
I don't even know what the story in that game was, to be honest.
It's or kind of like this, trying to get wed to another kingdom to stop war and peace, but everybody gets slaughtered and stuff. You get under attack. Pretty much the same thing. Like everybody not game that creates a game like this. It's the same thing. We seen it all before, heard it all before, all that stuff.
Yeah,
Nothing different. Nothing different.
I mean, it's alright since it's a free game and probably a first-timer project. It could be worse. I've seen worse first-timer projects, definitely.
Yeah.
At least in this game, I didn't find any bugs, so it works at least.
And right now, guys, like I have no clue where to go. You get an airship. You get an airship. You can fly anywhere on the map. I can't tell you that. But the way the story is going, I have nowhere to go. Every place you go to, it says you're not strong enough, and it puts you back.
Well, I guess you gotta grind some levels then maybe.
I don't know if it's level or air. I don't know. I'm not grinding. I got your mind. I'm not grinding.
Grinding is a hard topic. I feel.
I am tapped out in this game. I am tapped out.
Grinding is hard to do right, I feel. Like, most people would say they don't like grinding, but what they mean is they don't like boring grinding. Like
Yeah,
having battles attack is boring. It's mind-numbingly boring. Nobody want to do that.
That's all you do in this game.
Right, exactly. So my game, like Origins, is gonna have grinding because it's a fucking dungeon crawler. Right? You're supposed to revisit those dungeons and gather materials and whatnot. So it definitely has some kind of grind to it.
but you can
But
make
is
the
it-
grind fun. You can
Exactly.
make
There's
the
a
grind fun.
difference between pushing the attack button and just holding down your space key all the time to get levels, or if you have an engaging battle system that makes a big difference. The battles have to be fun for someone to go and grind.
Yeah.
At least that's my opinion. I don't know. I don't really grind in any games.
I mean,
I do grind in Dark Souls. Like I did that for a while because
that's
why not? Like,
suspected.
slashing up people is like it's fun, right?
That's expected. Leveling and buying items all cost souls.
Yeah.
So
Exactly, and leveling up in Souls games is fun. Like it has an impact, right? You're choosing your stats, you're making your build, and choosing your weapon and whatnot, and then you use that stuff to make more money. But when the grind is just attack, and nothing makes a difference really, then that's where grinding is bad. That's where it feels boring, and that's
Yeah.
where people don't want to do it.
yeah, and most enemies in this game, they just have attack. They rarely use any skills. Even the
Like I said,
bosses.
the only skills I saw was attack and slash, and the Chimera had this triple phase thing where the animation wasn't big enough for the screen, so it had these sharp edges around it, like a fucking I don't know. And everything did the same damage too. Like the entire skill set of the Chimera did roughly just below 300 damage, no matter what it used. So I don't know.
And that's
I guess it
terrible.
was balanced, but it was boring as fuck.
I
Like,
don't,
everything had like I think it was like 250 damage and the default 20% variation. That's what it felt like.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what else to say about. I mean, we gave the game a shot. It was a community pit. I'm not even sure who requested this.
I mean, if it was a community pick, I don't know.
Not sure it
I've
was the
never
developer
heard
or the
that.
developer's friend. I'm not
I
sure.
think it was Nerd Mansion. if I'm
Nerd
not mistaken.
Mansion.
Yeah, I would expect him to suggest a game
Who
like this, yeah.
who would have thought? Who would have
Who
thought?
would have thought? The random encounters. Who would have thought?
Cause that's not fair to the developer, because they're like, oh man, these guys playing my game. What are they gonna say? What are they gonna say about my game? And they see
I
this
don't- I don't know,
video.
man. Having other people recommend other games for the community, I'm not sure what I think about that, to be honest.
Isn't the goal of grinding beating the boss or acquiring materials if it has a purpose?
Oh no, it was one man indie. It was one man indie.
It's
No. I think one man it's gonna say he did it because he the one that posted it.
Yeah, he
Oh,
posted
okay.
like the initial requests from the time before we had the forum. Just
Yeah.
had a channel, right? And I was just in a forum instead. So he removed
Gotcha.
the channel and did posts in the forum for the people.
Yeah, you gotta look at the
But
retro
it's pretty damn old then. Like it must have been there for a while.
or look at the log and see who actually really requested it. I don't got time to, I could do that
It
later.
doesn't really matter. Like, but to be honest, like I think maybe we should actually keep the suggestions to the developers themselves. Maybe. I don't know. It's like it's
I'm
weird when
okay.
just some random fucking guy suggests a game.
I'm
Which-
okay with random suggestions. It just it just gives.
I
us
mean,
more games.
But what
But on the other side, we could just pick random games ourselves. That's what we did before.
Yeah, and
That's what we're doing every week. So what's the difference? This
But
is not
the
a community pick.
the thing is though, right? We don't want to come out as we're being bullies like other people have said in the past. You know what I
I have
mean?
no problem with that.
We're so.
It's like we're choosing and picking games that is purposely looking bad just to bash them, which is what we don't
because we
do.
got nothing else to do with our time than wasting an hour on a
We
boring
don't
ass
do
game
that.
like
We don't
this,
do that,
right?
guys. We do not do that at all at rarely
course not.
typical players. We do not do that.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, what would your thought be if some random guy you don't even know, because Monkey King has suggested a bunch of random ass games from Itch in the community. Like, that's not community picks. He doesn't know. He doesn't even know the developers. Like, how is that a community pick? It's just a random ass game.
Exactly. That's stuff that we do, like on our turn. We pick random games.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this. Like, that's not a community pick.
The community
game isn't made by a community member.
Exactly.
It's just a random ass game from Itch. That's what we're doing every week.
But it can't mean that whoever's in the Discord part of that community, they can pick a game and submit it. That will be considered a community pick. That's where Cyclone is coming from, and I do agree.
Yeah,
But it makes a lot of sense if the developer have a heads up. Hey, I submitted your game to these guys, the RTP podcast, to play your game. Your game may get picked. You know what I mean? So keep the heads up. Go follow them. Look at.
He did.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
yeah, that's the thing. Like, at the end of the day, these are just random ass games we could have picked on our turn anyway. It's not really a community pick. So I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with Bandito and DJ King. I mean, once the game is out there, like Padre said, it's fair game. And I've always been saying it. Once your stuff is on the internet, there's nothing you can do about it. Just like with these,
absolutely.
Just like if you have a tape of you and your wife, and you were smart enough to give it to somebody, and they put it on the internet where everybody can see it, then that's on you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm not against that. It's just the community wheel is, in my opinion, there, like, for the community, like for games made by people in the community, to get them reviewed and get some feedback and whatnot, like for us to give back to our community, and not just for some random guy picking random fucking games on Itch and then recommending them.
Yeah. I mean,
doing anything.
I do agree with that too. I do agree. It makes sense.
That's at least my take on the
and there's some games out there where people deliberately left the Discord because they felt that people wasn't giving their game as much as attention as they think we should. So
yeah,
I mean,
like, look, we played this game now, which is a random ass game suggested by some person we don't know, that's not in the Discord, that's not part of the community. And we could have instead played something that was actually suggested by a member of the community who needed the feedback.
Yeah.
But instead, we played this, and we don't even know if the developer is ever gonna watch the fucking video.
Or even make another game.
Exactly. That's my point, pretty much, right?
Yeah, it makes sense. But it is what it is. What happens.
Yeah.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
I don't think we have much else to say about the game, to be honest.
No, we really don't. So, if this game was for sale, guys, how much would you pay for it?
0.
I mean, you know my answer already.
We gotta hear it.
You gotta hear it. I want my time back, man. That shit is garbage.
What?
What you mean, what?
I want that hour and a half of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. I want my time.
I was in the middle of working on my skill tree system, and then I had to play this.
Exactly, man. I was making my new dungeon map, but I had to play this instead, right?
This is your life. This is what you're supposed to do. All right. So Padre says $69.99. DJ King says $0. Barclaw says $1. I say free.
I mean, it is free. Anyway.
I say free because you know there's nothing really enjoyable about this game. Like, in all honesty, there's a lot of like remarks by the developer. Like, there's one chest you open and you get 10 gold, and the developer said, I always wanted to do this, ha ha ha, and you get 10 gold. Y'all open that chest yet?
Nah.
Yeah, there's a couple.
But I've seen things like that before.
Yeah, then there's a Easter egg. Well, you beat that boss that I was telling you about, and you get transported to like the dev's room.
Yeah.
There's the developer walking around, and you talk to the toilet. She'll say like, "What is this?" Then you talk to the couch. She'll say like, "What's this comfortable thing?" Then if you talk to the TV screen, he'll say like, "Don't touch that." You go to the refrigerator, it says it feels like winter in there when you open it. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know, but it is.
It's like little developer.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it in Isekai, right? You start off in the developer room.
Yeah, but this
right?
is in part of a main game, though. Like, it just don't make. It just don't make sense.
The main game in Isekai too. It's like how you start your game.
I mean,
it's a bad thing, really. It's not really. It's not quirky. It's not fun, really. It's just. It's best to just not do it, to be honest.
DJ 990J say cents. Should pay cents for this. Levesis say $2. 99 cents. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, some of y'all do feel like this game definitely deserved to have a price. You know, that's your mindset.
Definitely not for me. It's okay to be free. It looks and plays like a first time project, and it's okay if it's out there for free. I don't think anyone will ever play it or have fun with it, but that's okay. That's how first timer games are. They shit.
That's their mindset.
They're bad games.
That's their mindset.
That's just how it is.
That's their mindset. Right? They want to pay $10 for this.
Yeah, whatever they say, so they can say whatever they want. Just my opinion is it's okay to be free. It's a first timer thing.
Look,
put it out there. Why the fuck not?
I'm gonna give them a challenge. Y'all so bad and big and bad and stuff like that. Why don't y'all put y'all requests on the wheel until we get to play your game, and now you'll feel in the hot seat, and we price your game. What will your game be priced at? So I challenge you guys to do that.
And that would require them to even have a game in the first place.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
or a demo, or
project. They're all talking big and they don't even have a game.
I'm just against calling it garbage, haha. But yes, I wouldn't pay the. All right, Varaclaw. Since you're here, Varaclaw, if y'all don't know, the Varaclaw he is the developer of True Moon Magic. That's the guy Kickstarter that I posted in the Discord, and it seemed like the Kickstarter is doing pretty well. But you know, there was a couple people says things about the Kickstarter, how they felt like it wasn't complete and whatever. I mean, some people may be iffy about the game or how the game plays. You know, that goes for anybody. You know, they may call your game garbage, they may call your game good. I think your game is good. You know, I played your game. I really enjoyed the visual of it. But some people have different opinions. You know, I'm D7. I'm D7 Ross, aka the nicest guy that plays RPG Maker games. And a lot of people are comfortable coming to me because they say, oh wow, D7 would never say anything bad about my game. You know, he's a guy that like RPG Maker games and he supports the RPG Maker community. You know, so I'm that guy that's like the Red Bull in the community that give you a perk whenever you are feeling down. because that's all it takes. It takes for somebody to play your game and say something good about it, and the developer loves seeing people play their game and hearing good things about it. But when it comes to the bad things, they don't want to hear it. And this is the benefit of the podcast. You know, you're going to hear good and bad from not just one person, but from
two sides of the same coin, really. Like, we need both. Like, I needed your stream of Isekai, to be honest. Like, I needed that positivity, otherwise I wouldn't be a game dev at this day anymore. That's true. I needed that positivity to keep going. But on the other hand, we also need people like myself, because at the end of the day, you're not gonna improve your games when everybody's just patting you on the back.
So Harlequin done it the best. Dutch Power Creations done it the best. Nikarasu, regardless what you say about the guy, gave great feedback. Neo Soul Gamer didn't hold his tongue. Padre don't hold his tongue. You know, you got a lot of great critiquers out there that really don't hold their tongue, but not critiquing as much as they should. You know, so this is why we had that podcast. You know, you got Harlequin, who's you know, definitely don't care about hurting your feelings. You know, Cychronic, he's more of, hey, it's a good day. It's a good day today. It may be raining, but you'll be all right. You'll be all right. That's Cychronic. And me,
I think it's more of a neutral thing, and you and me are pretty much
things to fix. There's things to work on. There's things to fix. But it could be good if you fix them.
With a smile on his face. And this D7, not a bad game. Not a bad game.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna hurt your feelings, make you commit suicidal thoughts. Because in reality, when I started playing these type games, I was like, you don't know what a person is going through in their life. A lot of people may turn to game developing. They may run across RPG Maker, and it could be therapy to them. You know what I mean? It could be therapeutic to them. So, you know, bashing somebody about their game can definitely run them into a spiral. And I've seen a lot of people who express their opinions, especially depression opinions, in several different discords where, you know, they can't really take the truth. You know what I mean? It really affected them.
Yeah, but
it sucks,
are you
but
really in a good place to be a game developer if you can't take critique?
Exactly.
We can't coddle them either.
Exactly. You all right. You all right. It's going to be that one person that's going to say, "Oh man, this is bad. This is bad." Yeah. And it's true, because I've been, you know, I think some games like are really good, and Harlequin play, he said it's garbage. You know what I mean?
I don't care about nobody's feeling. I would never go and tell a developer to quit. I would never do that. I'm just critiquing the game.
Make it better.
You can get better. Itself. You can improve. You can make a great game. Maybe your next game is gonna be a banger, but this game is garbage. That's just how it is.
Exactly.
I made garbage before too, and reason why I'm doing these harsh critiques is primarily because I realized I needed it too. Like, I had your stream, you were the first to play my another Isekai game, and I was close to quitting anyway, so I needed that positivity. But afterwards, all I got was like a pat on the back, like from everybody, right? So I was like, yeah, okay, so my game must be amazing then, because everybody says it's good. And then I had Dutch play it, and he was absolutely shitting on the game, and I needed that, because I would have never improved it. I was thinking my game was the banger of the year. And that's not what it was. It was bad. It's just what it is. When a game is
you
bad,
improved
a game
it.
is bad. It doesn't mean anything. It just means you can improve it.
That's exactly what happened.
That means.
And this is why
fucking early version of Isekai was garbage, man. It was a broken mess. It wasn't even really a game anymore. It was garbage. That's what it is.
That's deep.
Doesn't mean I have to quit game developing. No, it just means I gotta be better.
That's deep, guys. It's deep, guys. That is deep. So
I
always
would never attack the developer. Heck no. That's not what we're here for. We're just here to shit on games.
so you guys know the truth. We are not bullies. We are definitely speaking our God honest opinions that we have every right to do so. We have every right. That gives
that's what you always say. If you put it out there, it's out there.
exactly. And it's the internet, so you could be whoever you want on the internet.
Yeah, and I mean, we're having good intentions, right? And the thing is, if you put your game out there, and an asshole like me could always go there with no good intentions and could just leave a review, your game is garbage, not elaborate further, and just ruin your day with that shit, right?
And literally, some people do let that ruin their day.
People are like that on the internet, and if you put your game on display for people to play, and they're not having a good time with it, they're wasting an hour of their life playing your garbage, they're gonna be outraged, and then they're gonna go in your comment section and tell you about how fucking sucks. And that's what it is. That's how people are.
Oh man.
And at least with us, you can be sure I'm gonna tell you it's garbage, but I'm also gonna tell you either how you can improve it or to not stop developing. Just be better. Just improve yourself.
Exactly. So if those who are game developers, keep grinding, keep doing what you're doing. Do not hesitate, any of us. You know, if you want to ask me to play your game, I definitely do. If you want RTP to play your game, you have to put it into the request form and it'll get picked. You know, or if one of us just happen to choose your game on our, you know, turn to pick, if it's not on the community, that's our discretion. But, you know, normally the games we do pick are random.
Yeah, we're just going to Edge or Steam and
just blind
something
picking up.
That looks remotely interesting or whatnot.
So
whose turn is it next?
it's Psychronics.
Psychronics, so we're going to play another space game then?
Yeah.
No, it's not a space game. It's actually on our community wheel, but I played a little bit of it and I really like it. So I want to see what you guys think.
Sure.
So the one I'm picking for next week is Lonely League by Colonial.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
Oh Lord.
Lonely League. Didn't we play that already?
No, we did not.
I think I saw it somewhere. Didn't D7 play it already?
I don't
Isn't
know.
that the superhero game? I saw that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't
D7
think I played
it, right?
that. I don't think I played that one.
Pretty I don't know. It has copyrighted music. That's one thing.
But that's a good thing. We don't.
I've seen a stream of it. Definitely, I've seen the game. The game is pretty good. But yeah, they got ripped music and shit like that, and you know, superhero characters. So it's definitely not a good streaming thing.
I mean, we could stream the podcast because we don't even play the music.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if you have the music on, I think
I
they
probably
even
just
have like a streamer save option in the menu, but it doesn't do it.
We're not making any money, so
I'm just saying, so you're there.
Yeah,
Like,
soundtrack you
streamer
recognize
save
and
option doesn't work in the game for some reason. Is what I gathered from.
Yeah, and we won't actually be streaming any of the.
I
music,
mean,
guess.
D7 is gonna stream the gameplay, right?
Or doesn't he just upload the videos?
I mean, he did do commentary.
And doesn't it fall under fair use? Because it's commentary about
I'm not sure if it's fair use.
We'll see or not.
I'm not quite sure.
We'll see or not if YouTube say.
Yeah, let's try it.
Yeah, YouTube is definitely gonna strike it. That's for sure.
I mean, it won't hurt the channel. It's just if it's monetized, you won't be. It's either you got to share the monetization or whatnot.
Yeah. It's not like they're gonna take off.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you're gonna get a strike for it, like a notification or whatnot, whatever they do whenever you have.
Yeah, if the only time it's a strike, the content creator has to. The original owner has to make that claim.
I don't know. Twitch mutes the video. I don't know if YouTube does that too.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So-
well, if it's gonna mute the video, that's kind of bad because you're doing commentary.
So I guess we're gonna play Lonely League next week for the podcast.
Yeah.
So by the time we go to that time, those who ain't part of the Discord, we encourage you to join. We have all the links in the channel, in the description of this stream. And also, if you would like to try this game for yourself, we got the download link to this game. Give it a whirl. If you don't believe us, if you don't think it's garbage or low tier or mid tier, or you may think it's high tier, you will not know until you actually try it out for yourselves.
And feel free to also leave a comment on the game's website, I suppose. Let the developer know what you think.
Yeah, let the developer know what you think. And also, we have our own channels, in the link. If you're not following me, Simple Gaming or Cychronic Games, we definitely got our YouTube link in the description and stuff like that. So we definitely appreciate you guys for coming out. There's a lot of fun stuff going on in the RPG Maker community. We're just a small part of it, and we're trying to grow with you guys. So if any of my co-hosts got anything to say before we depart, please say now or forever hold your peace.
We
I'm
get the
good to
marriage now?
I'm good to go.
I thought the husband died.
Good to go. And I got me some errands I gotta run. So I definitely have to go bye-bye. So
Yeah,
until next
get
time,
outta
guys, definitely appreciate y'all guys hanging out with the RTP crew. And once again, if you haven't seen our legacy videos, definitely check out RTP, Rarely Typical Players. Go under the playlist and look up RTP Legacy. So you can watch the older videos that was hosted on One Man's Indies channel. You can watch
the infamous
Odarian accounts.
video.
Exactly. So until next time, guys, y'all stay safe.